Then I have a love song.
Okay.
Hi, Rose. My dog is looking at me like, what are you doing? I was talking to this fish who lives out in the ocean. Said, hey, fish, where do you find your love? Says I just find the one who rides with my tide, goes with my flow and stays on the side. I said, how can that be? So many fishes in the sea. How do you spread yourself so delicately? Says you just get real deep, and when you do, one who's right will be swimming next to you, and then you hold. Hold on for dear life. Conversing with this cloud who passes by my sky. Said, hey cloud, where do you find your love? Says I just float along to the right, one comes by. One who's pushed don't ever come to show. I said, how can it be? So many clouds up in the sky. How do you find the one that takes you so high? Said you just know it when they mesh with your soul. Ride the same wind but never take control. And then you're home. Hold on for dear life. I said, how can it be? So many fishes in the sea, so many clouds up in the sky for you and me. Says you just search with your heart and not your eye. Find a love that'll surely make you cry. Then you're home. Oh, dear life. Something like that. Thank y'all. Thank you. You're very sweet. You're very kind.
It was so amazing. I loved it. Your voice kind of reminds me of Stevie Nicks. It's amazing.
Oh, wow.
You're welcome.
Completely different. One of these days, I'm gonna settle down. Do y'all believe that? But I ain't doing that as long as I'm around, 'cause I'm a bad influence. Bad influence on me. She's bad. Bad, she's bad, that's your part. Bad influence is all I ever will be. If you want to unmute and sing with me, you can. Doing my homework just the other day, a girlfriend called up, said she wanted to play. Told myself that at home I better stay, but myself just laughed and we went out anyway, 'cause I'm a bad influence. Bad influence on me. She's bad. Bad.
She's bad.
And a bad influence is all I ever will be. Had to go to this boring party with Senator what's his name and some lottie-dottie. Right in the middle, got you in my head. And me, myself, and you spent the rest of the night in bed, 'cause I'm a bad influence. Bad influence on me. She's bad.
She's bad.
She's
bad.
And a bad influence is all I ever will be. One of these days I'm gonna settle down, but I ain't doing that as long as I'm around, 'cause I'm a bad influence. Bad influence on me. She's bad,
She's bad.
And a bad influence is all I ever will be.
And so I did this kind of graphic collection called Spoons. That's all about my experience with chronic illness. They're all like diary comics that I drew specifically while I was getting treatment or like at the doctor's office or lots of waiting. So I thought that I would read some excerpts from the comic and hope you all like it. All right, do you see my screen? Yay, okay, amazing. All right, so spoons are like your health bar in a video game. And this is me, sad, sleeping, and hungry, and not feeling well. So this is the first comic. It's called Dependable. Comfort without embarrassment. What a blatant lie. I'm starting to get exhausted. It's starting to get exhausting. Maybe that's why I feel so small. I know with chronic pain, you learn to cope, but is this the rest of my life? Adult diapers and pain pills? And it says, you can't sleep, can you? It'll be okay. Not a bit. Will it actually be okay? I'm starting to wonder. I used to be a star athlete, or I used to be an athlete, a star goalie. Getting beat up was all in a day's work. Because of the pain, I've had to hang up my cleats. Fortunately, drawing doesn't hurt. As I get more sick, I feel as though the me I was before is also slipping through my fingers. I read this book in high school called Nectar in a Sieve, an obvious metaphor about the fruitlessness of certain actions. I never really understood until my health became nectar and my hands the sieve. And then this was my daily routine for a very long time and still is. And this is like a nice positive one. So drawing has become a key part of recovery. I can draw in any position, which is an important part of pain management. But drawing does so much more. It brings me back to a safe place, a creative, pain-free place, my childhood. And that's a little baby me. Being sick all the time has made me feel guilty for wanting kids. Love, you okay? Gentle munchkin. All right, let's go to bed. I'll be tired all the time. And what if I'm distracted? I don't want to be the tired mom. I guess I had this plan of what or how my life would look like. But since my diagnosis, that's all changing. And to be honest, I'm terrified. Fortunately, I'm feeling much better about all of that. And then this piece is mostly just about kind of, I started doing drawings of like these blue characters around me, all saying things that people like try to tell you when you're not feeling well, and you have chronic pain, and they're coming from like very disingenuous places. So I've been really depressed lately. Everyone says it's because I'm sick, but honestly, I don't remember what I felt like before. So today is a hot summer day, and I also start treatment today. It's called PTNS, and the doctors will use a needle, will use an acupuncture needle and electropulses to stimulate the muscles of the pelvic floor to relieve chronic pain. It didn't work. I used to be scared of needles, but now I'll do whatever it takes, no matter how scary. And that's a little bit about PTNS. And this is like my drawing process. So I would like be getting a treatment, or I'd be sitting in my chair and on my little, have my little sketchbook out, drawing sad or happy graces. And that's me. Ta-da.
So Grace, one thing that kind of came up among the organizers is, if you're comfortable answering this question, we were curious about what the coronavirus crisis is like for you. I mean, you're in Brooklyn, you're in New York, like that is considerably more scary than things are in Texas. Not that things in Texas aren't horrifying. Oh, yeah. Thank you, Greg Abbott. But we were curious how, I guess, what is your insight into this sort of moment, having a chronic condition?
Yeah, so I had a very weird experience with the coronavirus because I'm immunocompromised, and I try like not to let that run my life, and then it always sometimes like manages to run my life again. So I started out initially being like, okay, it's gonna be fine, everything's gonna be great, no big deal. I actually went on a cruise, which was the like dumbest thing I've ever done. I went on the Joko cruise and kind of wasn't really thinking anything of it until the day before I went on this cruise. And there was the first case in my like really small hometown in Connecticut where my parents live. And I was like, maybe I'm doing a really stupid thing and shouldn't do this. And then kind of since then, it's been a lot of just like, okay, everyone else has their routine of staying safe, and mine is just like stay inside. I'm fortunate I got engaged during the pandemic, so that was very nice. Yay. But a lot of it has just been like my partner goes out for me, and it feels like there is this huge level of some of the mobility I gained back has been like taken away from me in a lot of ways, just because I have to stay inside. But it's also not like, I think it's a lot harder for other people who are able to just go about the routine without a chronic illness. Like I already feel that kind of pressure to all the time to like stay inside and stay healthy and like wash my hands obsessively and like ask friends like, wait, have you been sick? Like you can't see me if you've been sick. So yeah. And making diary comics about it definitely helps.
Seems like a good way to manage.
Thank you.
Hey, like boy said last month, I read half of a blog post about from a series that I started to write about my journey through breast cancer. So this is entry number 1, a lesson within part 2. I really started, no, I really wanted to start this vlog right away and write it as if it were a journal. But for some reason, I literally couldn't. It's not as if I didn't have something to say. At first, I thought it was because I didn't know where to start, and it was too overwhelming knowing that typing it with my nose would take forever. Ideas would come to me at times when I physically couldn't write. I tried to remember them until I got to a computer, but by then they were gone. People suggested making an audio recording of my feelings so I would have something to refer back to later, but that kind of thing never really worked for me. Finally, on May 22nd, I had maybe a breakthrough. Everything I heard on my favorite radio station and at church that morning reminded me that I cannot cut God out of any part of my life because that would be denying who I am and ignoring my mission in life. That was my problem with this blog. I was censoring myself because I wanted everyone, including non-believers, to read it. After the sermon during praise and worship and communion, I started crying uncontrollably. I finally acknowledged that everything I am and everything I go through in this life is about God's plan for me. And if I leave Him out of the blog, my story won't be complete. I immediately apologized to God and asked for forgiveness.
Then once I needed it to myself and told a friend after church. The ideas came flooding into my head and the writing began. That's all I got for this time. I'll read more next time.
Thank you to our Art Spark funders: Texas Commission on the Arts, National Endowment for the Arts Creative Forces, St. David's Foundation, Austin Public Library, Cultural Arts City of Austin, and the Donald D. Hamill Foundation.